Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Wanna get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it.
I was very much interested in learning digital marketing course for a very long period of time, but I don't get a proper platform. So later for my college, I get to know about XLR and I enrolled in XLR course. It was really good experience. Our course has been taken by Mayur sir, and he was very good teacher. He not only focusing on theory part, he is doing how real digital marketing works, and it was in total very good experience. I get so much of knowledge. Here they're not only focusing on study, they are also conducting different exam to test our knowledge, and as we are giving the exam, so to appreciate our work, they give certificates for the toppers, and along with the certificate they give hampers. Thank you, XLR.
Recently, I was searching for digital marketing courses online in Google, and I came across XLR, and I attended a digital marketing course which was for 15 days. My mentor Mayur helped me for attending these classes. So he is a very informative and helpful guy. In the course end, there is a exam which I topped, so I came to the XLR office in Bengaluru. This digital marketing course has helped my career and my skills to develop, and the certificate has helped my company to join. Thank you, XLR.
I came to know about this course from my college. Actually, for learning platform, this is very nice, and I learned from here ChatGPT and AI from online. Vikas is teaching for me for AI generative and ChatGPT. We are using this technology in more. And after finishing the courses, I came for collecting the certificate. I seen the classrooms and faculties. Classroom is very nice. After the completion of exam, they will give gift and certificates. Thank you, XLR, for giving these courses. I learned a lot from this. I gained the more knowledge from here. And thank you for XLR for teaching us.
Good afternoon, all. I hope you are all doing well. Okay, we'll start the session. Good afternoon, Satish sir.
Good afternoon, Sushmita. Good afternoon, all.
You can start the session, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, today we will go through some application integration and monitoring stuff. So everything what we do on computing is mainly to develop the application, host the application, and make it live for the end users or third parties or clients. So Yeah, Malinath, thank you. Good afternoon. While we do the development and while we do the hosting, integration is a very important part. The information from one application should flow to another application in terms of exchange of the information. For example, as soon as the application module produces some information, it has to be consumed by some other application in order to get the information processed as per the requirement. So we will talk about the services which would help us to achieve the application integration in this. And also we'll look into the monitoring part. So today we will go through these topics. Amazon CloudWatch, as the name itself says, this is everything about cloud logs of the application, metrics, system metrics and application metrics, alarms, and then we will have SQS and SNS. SNS stands for simple notification service. SQS stands for simple queue service. So both are used for either notification or passing the information from one system to another system. CloudFormation is one of the tool which is known as infrastructure as a code, IAC. You might have heard about the tool called Terraform. So Terraform is an open source, or it's a code application from HashiCorp. Now, infrastructure as a code is a concept or the technology for which CloudFormation is one of the service in AWS. We will look into it. Command line, AWS CLI, how to use command line interface to get certain things done, and some of the best practices. So we will have a CloudWatch demonstration, and we will use simple notification to set up some alerts to get the notification on email and SMS. So we will also run some command line commands to create some bucket, delete some bucket, copy something, all those things. And also we will manage some EC2 through the command line. So further to that, we will be open to CloudWatch and command line interface topics. Let's go ahead and understand what is CloudWatch. CloudWatch is an AWS-based monitoring system. It monitors the applications as well as AWS resources and provides you a lot of insight about metrics, logs. And metrics means it's a parameter. When you turn on your car, you have a dashboard, right? In the dashboard, you can see a lot of lights and meter gauges, and some indicators are there, some warning buttons are there. Certain things will bleep, certain things will just glow. These are all metrics. How much fuel we have, whether the brake oil is enough or not, whether ABS is working or not, whether handbrake is applied or not. So similarly, when we start EC2, when we start VM, which is EC2 instance, we would like to know how it is performing. What is the CPU? What is the memory? What is the disk? And I want to know whenever the CPU utilization hits 80%, 90%. So when the individuals are not well, what we do? We take them to hospital. They put a lot of monitoring system, ICU and all those things. So what it does, it keeps on beeping at one rhythm. Beyond certain rhythm, it starts beeping very intensively. So that is alarm. So somebody needs to take care of it, the person. So similarly, when your washing machine is done with the washing, it gives you an alarm. So when your oven is getting something baked, once it is done, it will give an alarm. So we have a lot of such things around us. Similarly, in AWS also, when the system is shut down, I want to get notified. When the system reaches 90%, I want to get a notification. So we can set the threshold. What is threshold? Acceptable limit. If it goes beyond that, so I should get an alarm so that I can take care of it manually. So get alerted to wherever you need, either the email, either the SMS, all those things. And over the time, when you collect the data, you should be able to visualize how much we are growing over the time and what needs to be taken care with this particular trend. Do I need to increase the CPU? Do I need to decrease the CPU? Do I need to add additional disk? All those things, we will be able to take a call. Some of the enterprise use cases, if I want to look into it, an e-commerce platform could be a platform like Amazon e-commerce or Flipkart. It uses CloudWatch to monitor EC2 health, and it triggers an alarm for auto healing. Auto healing means whatever the problem we have, it will try to fix it. That is auto healing. You can set the alarm on students' EC2 instance to notify whenever the CPU hits more than 80%. And it helps them monitoring basics like how the system behaves. When the disk goes beyond 80%, you need to add additional disk. Otherwise, what happens? It will make the system unresponsive, slow, all those things. Logs. What is logs? When the application is being used, it generates a lot of logs depending on what type of request has come, whether the request is successfully processed or not, whether it is failed. If it is failed, due to what reason it is failed. So EC2 and Lambda, they are all compute devices which has applications on it. So they generate a lot of logs. Recently, 2 days back, when we saw Lambda, I shown you how the image was getting turned into thumbnail, and it was capturing how much CPU it has used, how much time it has used, all those details. If it is a failure, due to what reason it is failure, that is the kind of visibility we will get once we have those alarms in place. So we can create a lot of dashboards to visualize the logs, visualize the metrics in one view. It is not the same metrics and logs everybody is interested in. There are certain people who are interested to know CPU utilization. There are certain people who are interested to know disk utilization. There are certain people who are interested to know application related metrics. There are certain people who are interested to know all of them as a summary. So you should know who is the stakeholder of that particular application, and you should be able to create a customized dashboard and share with them so that they get to know what are the key performance indicators for their application. So by the time we talk, I would like to create one instance so that we have enough data to create a dashboard. Because otherwise, we will not be having enough data to create the dashboard. Because right now, nothing is running. I'll just start the machine and I'll start continuing with the slides. It's just a machine I started. So it supports custom metrics. What is custom metrics? There are certain metrics which are predefined. CPU utilization, memory utilization, disk utilization, Java heap memory. But your application may come with some parameters which are not standard, which are not defined. So you can define what is that custom metric, and you can create a filter for that particular metric. So these CloudWatch, what is the purpose of having CloudWatch? It is mainly for troubleshooting and performance tuning. So last month, the system was helping me to get the transaction done within 2 seconds. This month it is increased to 3 seconds. So there is something wrong, we have to fix it. So you can look into that aspect and you can start working towards fixing your code, system, all those things. So if I have to look into one of the use case, SaaS company, software as a service company, I can think of Gmail, Google Mail. It is visualizing the application and its latency and the error logs, how many times the error is coming, and they are checking it in the real-time dashboard and for the support teams. For example, when I go to Gmail and when I click compose, the application is crashing all the time. So how do I look into it? So there will be a small monitoring agent which will check the performance of the application, which particular feature is making the application to crash. This is what they will come to know. And they will have deep dive monitoring tools to understand where it is getting out of control. Okay. So the students can use this CloudWatch. They can log the web server access data and they can plot the response time trends. So whenever they release new version, what was the previous version performance? What is the new version performance? All those things they can see. Okay, before going to SNS, let us look into CloudWatch. This is the machine we started. I'll just capture it in the clipboard. CloudWatch. We say CloudWatch is consists of 4 main aspects. And those aspects are, let me have a lot of lines. MELT. MELT. M stands for metric, E stands for events, L for logs, T for traces. So we will understand all these things. This is metric. And I think they have removed events. I'll tell you why they have removed. M, L, and T has become observability. Traces have become also observability. So it's a new word in the industry, observability. That is where we have something called as SRE, Site Reliability Engineer. So observability and traceability. This is something which is catching up a lot in the market. So there is a role called SRE, Site Reliability Engineer. So if you happen to explore this, you can guide your students very well what is coming up in the market and how to acquire knowledge to possess these skills. Okay. It's a discipline that applies to software engineers principles to IT operations, focusing on making the software systems reliable and scalable. So it's the bridge which is getting built between development and operations. Okay, so that is where we have this observability in place. RUM means real user monitoring. Okay, let me go ahead and create and understand what is the monitoring. When I go to EC2, I have created one instance. By default, the monitoring is enabled at a very high level. I will go to monitoring and I will enable the detailed monitoring for time being. So if you just start any machine. Under the monitoring tab, you will be able to see what is CPU utilization, what is network utilization, what is CPU credit usage. Couple of metrics you can see here. You can change the time bandwidth, 1 week, 1 day, 3 hours. You can increase the visibility. Do you want to capture the maximum, minimum, sum, average, all those things? 5-minute granularity, 1 second granularity, 6 hours granularity, all those things you can see as a granularity. So you can keep refreshing for every 10 seconds. It should show what is the latest value which is captured. Okay. So this is by default, you are able to get the metrics. And yeah. So coming back to this, I can create the alarm. So there is something called as status and alarm. Okay. You can click on action, create the status check alarm, create an alarm for what? So if you choose this, who should be able to get the notification? Content topic. I'll take you to this topic when we discuss SNS. What action should be taken? Do you want to reboot the machine? Do you want to stop it? Or do you want to completely delete it or recover it? So I'll go for reboot. When it should raise an alarm? When the average utilization of CPU utilization reaches 50%, consecutive period 3 times, within 5 minutes each, 3 times if it reaches, it should reboot the system. So you can see 50% is the threshold now. I will create the alarm. Okay. Now the alarm is set. Now let's try to make this machine more than 50%. Right now, what is the current utilization? Let's see. The current utilization is hardly 11%. So even it will get reduced. During the start, it was 11%. By now, I will show you. Now, I will connect to the machine and I will run some commands to take you through. There is a command, Linux command called top. As soon as you run this, you will come to know the utilization. What is the CPU utilization now? 0%. What is the memory utilization? 949 is the total. 628 is free. 110 is used. Okay. Now, how many processes are running? There are 100 processes are running, tasks. One is running, 99 are sleeping. How to know which one is running, which one is not? There is something called as yes, right? S stands for sleeping. This is state or status. S stands for sleeping. I stands for initializing. You can see something goes in R. See, this is running. Top command is running. So like that, we have running, sleeping, stopped, zombie. Zombie is a very catchy word. You know zombie, right? You might have watched the movie Go Goa Gone. So in that you can see that's an Indian version movie, but zombie you used to see a lot of English movies using the word. What is zombie? There are certain processes which are started by system. For example, you are starting one application. In order to run that application starts some other small applications, which we call it as sub-process. Process starts, sub-process. And in the event of some logical issue, when the disk becomes full, when the memory becomes full, the main process gets crashed without closing the sub process. And now the sub process becomes orphan. It doesn't know who started it. It doesn't know the parent process, PPID. So at that time, over the time, it becomes clueless. What is my purpose? Why I have come? What is that I'm doing? So that is called zombie process. So you will see Z here. This is a freshly started machine. We won't see any machine which is running more than 6 months, 1 year, 2 year. We see some zombie processes at that time. So that is, these are the type statuses of process. Now, let's make this system run more than 50% because it should reboot now. Sudo su hyphen. Yes, there is a command called yes. As soon as I run this, again I'm checking the utilization. You can see the utilization has come to 63%. Okay, this yes is currently in the running state and it is causing 99% stress on the CPU. Okay, so we will continue to see this. In the meanwhile, while the system is running at more than 50%, which is our threshold, we will look into the CloudWatch dashboard. Now I will just refresh this page because I want to see that EC2 alarm. So we have one EC2 for which it says it is okay. Right now, the system is okay. If the alarm is there, if there is no data, it says insufficient data. This is something created long back ago. Insufficient data means data itself is not coming. I'm not able to say whether it is okay or not okay. So the data is not flowing. So this machine is deleted. I will just delete this old alarm which was created for one of such demo. So now this particular machine is running C6C. It is saying it's okay. Okay. So whenever CPU reaches 50%, more than 3 times, within 3 minutes, action is enabled, it will restart. Okay. Now, that is alarm. We have logs. Logs are created inside the system. Let me show you a couple of logs. Cat var www, sorry, var log messages. We don't have messages. DNF log. So what is there in DNF log? DNF is a package manager. So what are the packages installed? It shows the output of that. You see, these are the packages which are currently installed. Let me install one small package for your demo and I'll show you how it appears like. Okay, last it has installed libdnf. DNF install tree-y. I'm just a small package. This time I'm not going to see the entire file. I will see last 10 lines and I will use the command called last. I'm not getting any response. Maybe the system is getting rebooted. Let me see. It is running. Okay, it is installed. Tree is installed. Last var log dnf.log. Okay, it is not last, it is tail command. Sorry, my mistake. What is that? It is giving me tree is installed. You see, tree is installed. Yum or DNF install httpd-y. This is installed. Now let me see. Okay, system will reboot now. You see the alarm is working. The broadcast message from the local host. The system will reboot now. Okay, let me see if this machine is in which state, which condition. It is running now. Alarm, one alarm. What is this alarm is all about? Alarm. So the machine is not healthy. Okay, the threshold is set at 50% and the utilization has hit 100%. You see? So when the reboot happens, what will happen? The process which was causing high CPU utilization will be deleted. Okay. Looks like the system is back online. I'm connecting to the machine again. Top. CPU utilization has become 0. Again, let's create a stress. Yes. /device/null. Okay. Sudo su hyphen cat var log dnf dot log. What is that we installed at last? Okay. Control C. So again, I did cat, right? So I should have used tail command. Sorry, over the discussion, I just forgot. So we installed HTTPD. Where is that HTTPD? Amazon Linux kernel patch. Tail. Tail will give me only last few lines. I'm not able to see anything. DNF install. What else we can install? Curl. Let me see if curl is there. Okay, it is there. So the same lines, whatever we saw, we can see here. Curl. What else we can install? DNF install wget. It is already there. But what my log says, wget is already installed. So this is the same message. Package, it is already there. So let me try installing Postgres. Sorry, my mistake. DNF, search, Postgres, web-i, client. Or else let's try to install Git. Yes. Okay. See, you see, Git is installed. Perl, Git, all those things, whatever is installed, it is showing. So logging is one such thing which will help you capture what is happening inside the machine. You have the logs in each department, right? At the gate, the entry person, the security person will ask you to put the entry, why you have come, from where you have come, whom to meet, do you have the letter or not. So this is nothing but when the application is getting executed, it captures what is being done at the system level. I think now we have enough data, we can move to the dashboard. Okay. So this is the alarm. Let me refresh and see what is happening with this machine again. So here system got rebooted. Again, the utilization started spiking up. And let me increase the period to 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes it should check. 3 times 100% it should reboot. So at least we have some consistency in the data. Okay. Now let's go to the dashboard. We have something called as dashboard. And before that, let me go to metrics. Almost all the services are covered in the monitoring. You see, application load balancer, auto scaling, backup, DynamoDB, Elastic Kubernetes Service, KMS. Everybody has the data shared here. CloudWatch monitors all these things, and you should be able to use CloudWatch across almost all the services what AWS offers. Now, what is that we are interested? EC2. So per instance metrics, what is my instance name? This is my instance ID. I will search for my instance and I will pick up CPU utilization. So what is the CPU utilization? I can see here. If you want to see the network, disk bytes or network packets, network in and network out. Network in and network out. So when you compare, you should compare the right metrics. If you try to compare percentage with megahertz, it will not give the right. It is like measuring kilograms in against liters. So it will not give the right metric. So if you are measuring something, try to find out the same. If you are measuring utilization in percentage, you should go with utilization in percentage. So disk write, CPU utilization, credit balance, network packets out, network packets in. So you can maximize this and you can change the timeline and you can see what is it appearing like. You can see table, you can see stacked area, you can see numbers, you can see gauge, you can see bars, and you can see pie chart. Okay. This is for last 1 hour. So let's create some dashboards. So I'll navigate to dashboards and I'll create the dashboard. And for this dashboard, I will give a name, sample dashboard. And here I can add some widgets. And these widgets are of type line, number, stack, pie, explorer, bar, gauge, and all those things. So this is metrics. You can also add logs and alarms. Okay. So I will pick up the metric EC2 per instance metric. CPU utilization. One more widget. I'll add the stacked area. Couple of metrics just to show you how the dashboard looks like. So whenever you pick this metrics, you should make sure the stakeholder is whether interested in this KPI or not. KPI stands for key performance indicators. There is something I need to set the gauge. Where did the gauge go? Options tab. It won't allow me unless until I fix this error. It's not error though. It's one of the supporting parameter to bring that metric. Okay, let me pick up something else in the interest of time. Pie chart, EC2 per instance. This is my instance because there are so many instances which are deleted. It has some default retention period, so it will retain the data for some time. You can also choose to retain for years. How many years you want to, whatever you want to save it. Okay. So last widgets, let me put the number. Okay. Again, I will pick up EC2 per instance metric. Okay, so in order to make it little appearing, I will add the text. Okay, so some text which should help the end user who is referring the dashboard for his day-to-day consumption. So this is something I'm adding. I will add this on top and I will make it appear little cozy. You can edit it anytime. You can manage many things. So once it is there, I will save it. Once it is saved, I can share it. So share the dashboard. Do you want to share it publicly where people don't have to use username password? Usually we share this with our leaders who don't like to remember passwords all the time. Okay, when I create share by giving my consent, because you are sharing something beyond AWS control without having username password asking for. So again, my system got rebooted. Let's see. Yeah, again, it has got rebooted. So I'll close this now. And again, I'll start. Accept the policy. Again, I made the system run on 62% because we should see some spikes, right? Otherwise, the straight line doesn't add much to discuss. Okay, so this is the link which I'm putting into a chat. Check whether you are able to access it, this particular keyboard, the dashboard. So I'll open one private window, and in that private window, I'll try to access this. Without sharing the credentials, I'm able to load this. I think you should be also be able to load this, and you should also be able to change this local time zone, the time format, all those things. Okay. Okay. So that is about CloudWatch. What are the events? Anytime when there is any change in the state, which we call it as event. Earlier, events were the part of CloudWatch, but now events has got more features. That is why events are moved to Event Bridge. Okay. Logs. We started Lambda function, and all those Lambda related logs you can see here. You see, thumbnail is something which we did, and 2 days back, 15th, what Lambda has done, because Lambda is a serverless, it is not having its own dedicated disk. Whenever it completes something successfully or error, it should store it somewhere. Where it will store? It will store the information in CloudWatch. Okay. So logs will help you get the logs details of this application, services, all those things. All these are Lambda. And I also used something called as SageMaker and database and Elastic Container Services. These are all logs. So how much days you want to retain those things? You can go never expire. You can say 1 day, 5 day. So like this, you can create. I think I should do some cleanup. So let me do it later once we are done. Something new has come, which I have still not explored, AI operations. I have to explore it sometime. So overall, CloudWatch gives you a comprehensive approach to do the monitoring. SNS, Simple Notification Service. So there are a lot of such automations we set up, but when we want to get up from the system and go out, somebody taking care of the system is something which we would like to have. So you can rely on Amazon SNS, which is known as Simple Notification Service. What it does, it keeps on monitoring your system utilization, and upon meeting the right condition, it will send the alert. It will send the alert. So let's go to SNS and look into it, how to set up the notification. Ping me your email ID if you want to get a notification. I will set up the notification just as a demo. It will not flood your email, but one or two email IDs. Okay, this is one particular subscription. These are all the email IDs and other applications which are currently enabled for subscription. Okay, I've got one email. So what I'll do, I'll create the subscription. I'll create it for content topic, select the protocol, email. Thank you, Malinath, for sharing your email ID. So once I create the subscription, it will show pending confirmation. So Malinath should be having an email inside his inbox asking for his consent. So and so topic is trying to send a notification for you. Are you okay to receive? The moment he clicks on accept that URL, it becomes confirmed. So Malinath, if you can open your email and you can click that URL which you have got. It is a safe link, don't worry, and I can take the guarantee for this particular link. So once you say yes, it will appear something like this, confirmed. Okay. In the meanwhile, subscribers can be 100, 1,000 or 10 or 5, but bringing them together in one topic is the main thing. So I have a topic called content topic. I can also create new topic. There are two type of topics. One is FIFO. FIFO stands for first in, first out. I think all of you are aware of it. It religiously follows certain standards. First come, first serve. And it makes sure there is no any duplicacy. Standard, it's like you're in a cricket stadium. Recently what happened in Bangalore? Stampede. So many people lost their life, right? Standard is something doesn't really follow the order. It will make sure at least once the message is delivered. The standard is good when I'm sending you good morning message. If it is coming twice to you, it is fine. But when I'm sending some money to you, if it is coming more than once, either it will get deducted in my account or somebody else's account, which is there in the bank. So whenever we do some applications where very good governance is required, we go for FIFO, and otherwise standard is fine. FIFO has a limit around 300 messages per second or 256 or something. But standard doesn't have a limit. It can go up to. But you may have that message delivered twice. Okay. Just a name and topic. It will create a topic. Once you create a topic, you can go inside and you can create the subscription inside it. Yeah, Malinath has confirmed. It is appearing here under the content topic. Now let me create one notification for this. I'll go to S3 bucket, which we created yesterday. And I'll sort it based on okay, this is the different one. My new bucket on July 2025. So what I'll do, I'll go to properties under the notifications, I will create an event for notification. For what type of action you want to create? All create, all remove, or all restore, or like this. So let me also add a phone number, SMS. So which language you want to get it? English. Let's go English. Okay, I think this is the topic, and this is the cell phone number. Create subscription. Okay, I don't know whether it is appearing or not. Okay, it looks like it is confirmed. So now I will create it. Okay, to whom the event should be sent? To the SNS topic, and this is my topic. Unknown error. So let me do it again. Event notification, create event notification, sample. What type of image, what type of file should be notified? SNS, content topic. Okay, I know what is the error. This is Northern Virginia. And the subscription, this is also Northern Virginia. API response. Unable to validate the following destination. Okay, must grant principal necessary permissions. Okay, so let me create the event for notification for the bucket where we have that appropriate permission. Create event notification, sample, all create and all removal. I want to send it to SNS topic. The relevant API to publish the SMS. There's some new security feature has added. Otherwise, this was not a part. I'll check. Give me just one moment. I'll just check what is the restriction here. Content topic. And there are some permission access policy. Okay, let me publish one message. Yeah, I think there is one message which we have received. Let me bring it on the screen. Just pause it for a moment. Okay. The Zoom bar is creating some challenge for me to show. I'm trying to bring my cell phone screen here. Looks like it has some challenge. Quit. When we start presenting, there is a Zoom bar which is kind of little bit blocking. So this is today at 4 o'clock. Content topic alarm. The greater than or equal to threshold. This is one of the alarm we have got. This is one of the notification I've received on my cell phone, right? And with respect to the email, let me check if there is an email. I think Malinath can confirm whether he has received any email. Let me bring that email on the screen. Yes, I do have that email. This is 32 minutes ago. And there should be some latest email. I'll just refresh. Three minutes ago. What is this all about? Amazon CloudWatch. 3 out of 3 data points, 99.90. This is the alarm. Okay, so that was the email as well as SMS notification. You can send it to any such cell phone. Where do you want to send? But it should need the user consent. There is one SQS. SQS stands for Simple Queue Service. Let me bring this PPT. I'll explain you. SMS AWS. So SNS is something like one particular entity is trying to send a message for multiple people. It can send it to Lambda, it can send it to SQS, it can send it to HTTP endpoint. It can also send it to individuals, email ID or cell phone. But when it comes to SQS, it is all about one-to-one. That's all. One application is producing, the other application is consuming. I don't have my whiteboard, otherwise I would show you one example. So earlier, how the applications are getting developed. So if I develop one application, let's say for example, Citibank, within the Citibank, I have savings bank, I have loans, I have current account, and I have credit cards. So all the four business units are using the same application. Whenever that particular business is trying to implement a change, they will reboot their system. So if every business is having the same application dependency, because of one person is changing due to some interest rate change, due to some regulation change, other persons have to accept that particular reboot, even though they don't have any maintenance. So that becomes little weird. And savings bank is having too much transactions, makes other applications run slow. It's kind of using the entire resources without leaving anything to others. So these things were a lot of problem, and the tightly coupled application had a problem. So what people did, people started developing individual small applications which are called as loosely coupled. So this is savings, this is credit card, this is loans, and this is current account. All of them are running independently on independent machine. Now what happens if savings bank is rebooting? The credit card people are not getting affected. The current account is not getting affected. So only this communication will stop for a while. Now, whatever message is generated by savings bank, if at all it has to be consumed by other application, that is when SQS comes. Here, in the tightly coupled application, we call it as IPC, inter-process communication. And here in the loosely coupled application, two machines are different. One machine generates the message, the other machine consumes the message. We call it as producer and consumer. When producer and consumers are working in a different speed, for example, you have seen people putting RCC for their building, right? When the RCC is getting put, the mason and those karmcharis, they used to pass the goods from one hand to another hand, or let's say they are passing the bricks from ground floor to second floor. So bricks are flowing in one direction and everybody is working in the sync. If one person is either increasing or decreasing this speed, the number of bricks will get fall and it will get lost, or they will get damaged. So this is what happens when two applications are working in different speed. So if this savings bank generates 1,000 messages per minute, if the consumer is capable of processing only 200 messages, he will leave rest of the 800 message without processing. That is when SQS comes into a picture. AWS SQS is one such service which stores the messages for longer duration. So these are producers, it produces image, and these are the SQS which holds the information for longer duration, and it sends whenever the consumer is ready to process it. When I send you an SMS from my mobile to your mobile, if your mobile is turned off, what will happen? It should be stored somewhere, right? And that is not exactly SQS, but similar type of service. What it does, it waits for 24 hours. After that, it says undeliverable. Okay. SQS, SNS is for one to many, SQS is one to one. Okay, let's see this. So if it is SNS, one message can be broadcasted to multiple services. If it is SQS, it is strictly one-to-one, that's all. There's no any duplication or broadcasting, nothing like that. So this we use in application development. When one application function generates some message, another application is supposed to receive. It may be third-party application, it may be some other application which has its own type of development architecture and other things. So at that time, SQS helps you a lot. So let me show you a couple of things. SQS, simple queue services. I can create a queue, and when I create a queue, message visibility time. What is message visibility time? I'll tell you. Let me bring my. Yeah, Malinath, thank you for confirmation. You got the notification over the email. Yeah, thank you. So message visibility. What happens when you send a message from one system to another system? Let's take an example. This is a producer and we have a simple queue pipeline. Okay, the messages are produced here and it is passing from the queue. And the consumer is here. It is a bit slow. So there are messages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when the message gets picked up by the system, it becomes gray out. Gray out means it is marked as it is being used by, it's being already picked up for processing. That is, we call it as gray out. And unless until it is completed, the next message will not be used. Now this consumer processes the information. By the time it is trying to go back and acknowledge, something gets broken and it is not able to acknowledge, saying that the message is successfully processed. So this message which gets grayed out, you can define the timeout. So by default, it is 30 seconds. So it waits for 30 seconds. Otherwise, it will become activate again, making the next consumer to pick the same message. So that is called visibility timeout. How many days you can make the message retain in the queue? 14 days you can retain the message. And the maximum size of individual message can be up to 256 KB. Okay. So you can make the delay timeout up to 12 hours and you can create the queue, and that queue can be shared to the developer to store the message which needs to be sent to other people. So there are two messages here. You see, this is the body. This is the alarm which we just sent some time back. Okay, that is SQS and SNS. It is fully managed. What do you mean by fully managed? You don't have to mention CPU. You don't have to mention memory. You don't have to manage disk. AWS takes care of everything. You even don't know SQS is running on Windows or Linux. So fully managed service means AWS takes care of everything. It will make SQS available to you as a managed service, and they charge you based on how you consume. So it helps you decouple the service. Helps you decouple the service means what? It will help you break the application into smaller chunks. Like I shown you that Citibank example, right? So it will help you break the application, decouple the application. Here it is tightly coupled. Here it is decoupled. It will help you establish decoupled services and smooth message flow. It is mainly reliable and scalable and fault tolerant. Fault tolerant means if there is anything happens, the underlying hardware or software, AWS takes care of fixing it without losing the information. This SQS also gives you standard and FIFO queues. So some of the use cases, ride sharing app queues a trip request in SQS before processing them. See, a lot of modern applications are dynamic. Why it is dynamic? Because it is being used by multiple people over the cell phone, and you cannot really predict the traffic. Suddenly there is some fire happens in somewhere in Bangalore. Suddenly 144 section is announced by the government. Suddenly everybody starts planning, hey, I should run away from Bangalore, otherwise I'll get cooked up next 2 3 days. Anyhow, curfew is there. Let me book red bus. Let me book something in Make My Trip. So Make My Trip suddenly gets huge traffic from Bangalore location. Suddenly some finance minister announces some SOPs to some department, some irrigation, something, some energy based companies, they announce some benefits. Suddenly the surge of share prices, all the share prices, people start buying the share. So these are all very difficult to predict what kind of traffic will come. So SQS kind of service holds those messages without losing, make sure you get the message properly served and get used to. Okay. So that is SQS. What is the difference? SNS is push based. It is like publish. It broadcasts the message. SQS is pull based. So it goes to the source and it checks, is there any message for me today? Is there any message for me now? So like that, SQS is pull based. SNS is push based. You should always try to use SNS first and then SQS for fan out architecture. What is fan out? Once it is sent. You cannot recall. So if you send the message first SQS and then SNS, it is not possible because SQS sends it to only one entity. But if you send it to SNS first, you can send it to SQS, you can send it to email, you can send it to Lambda, you can send it to SMS, email, all those things. So ticketing platform uses SNS for sending the updates to users and SQS for handling the transactional workflow. So ticketing platform, as soon as you book the ticket, one broadcast sends the update to users stating that your ticket is confirmed. It could be movie, it could be a travel ticket or something. But at the same time, SQS captures that information and it sends it to Lambda or database to store that information. So you can create SNS topic to push the message to SQS queue, which is further consumed by other AWS services. So we have seen SQS, SNS, and CloudWatch. What's the time? Let me see. Okay, great. So next we have something called as cloud formation. I will take the CLI and cloud formation together. There is something called as cloud formation, guys. You can create the infrastructure with the help of graphical user interface. So this is my cloud formation. And I will tell you one more magic now. There is something called as Amazon Q. I was planning to talk about this tomorrow, but let me do it right away. So give me the cloud formation template to create an EC2 with the existing group attached. What is the security group I have? I will give some details to it and I will get the script generated. Security group. I don't know which one is Let me see what is the default security group which I have. This is just getting an entry. And the AMI means operating system. I will pick up the AMI. This is the code. Okay. Okay, so this is going to give me some code. And that is easily readable, and it is written in something called as YAML, Y-A-M-L. This is a service which recently introduced by AWS. This Amazon Q acts like your coworker, subject matter expert. Because if you try to understand EC2, for EC2, user guide, developer guide, and let's me go to user guide only. The amount of information what we get is huge. You see, 3,323 pages. It is very difficult to understand and go through all of those things for some information. Okay. At that time, what we can do, we can use Amazon Q and we can ask whatever we need. Since it is having all those information in the backend, it will give you the right information in the response. It's like a chatbot. So I have got this code. I'm copying this code now. I'm creating a stack and I'm using the infrastructure composer. In the composer, I will get a view. Here, I can drag and drop certain services wherever I want to build the infrastructure. Okay. And I can arrange them and I can make them work with each other. Okay, that is one thing. Control A. So I can connect them with each other and I can make them work. Okay, so these are not going to work. I'll tell you why. Because it should be compatible. It all looks very fancy, right? It looks like a James Bond movie, what you're trying to bring in here. Now this code, whatever I copied, I put it here and I'm doing a validation. The key name. I should have the key name to connect to the system. That is very important. And this is the key name which I have. So where did my code go? That's a key name. Instance type. T2 micro is default. Key name. Subnet ID. This is the subnet ID. This is all one-time activity. If you set up this, it will work fine without any challenges. Okay, I have this subnet. We saw this subnet thing when we did the VPC. This is the subnet ID. Okay, with all this, what I will do, this is a key name, subnet ID, and yeah. So validate again and invalidate. It says key pair is invalid. Must be the name of the existing EC2 key pair. Yeah, this is a name. This is a key pair. Okay, let me copy the entire thing. Just one moment, guys. EC2. Key pair. Otherwise, what I can do, I can send everything to my Amazon queue, whatever I'm using it for. The key pair is this. What else it is asking for? Key name and instance type is taken, subnet ID. Yes, I think that's enough. So whenever you start any system, there are certain things mandatory, certain things are optional. So these are certain things which are mandatory. The key name is used here. Instance type is used. Subnet ID is used. Looks like we are good to go. I copied this code and I pasted it, validate, and let me go to canvas, how it looks like. This is my instance. Okay, create template. Next. Sample. Which one the machine should start with? T2 micro. IAM role. IAM should have enough permission to start this instance, right? So that is why it is asking for the role. Submit. This should create a machine. Okay, I will leave this window as it is. On the other screen, I will check the instances. You see the new machine is started. Cloud machine created instance pending. So in the other way, what is happening? Just refresh. Create in progress. Creation complete. So creation complete. So if you see the output, this is the machine which is started. This is the IP address, instance ID. Okay. So like this, you will be able to create resources with the code. So you have something called as infrastructure composer. You can put the code here and you can start creating resources with the help of either the code or by drag and drop. AWS Security Group, RDS, DB instance, EC2, Elastic IP, EC2 instance. So you can write the details here and whether it should work with this security group or something. This becomes my savings security group. So you can see the code is here. You can integrate them and you can validate and you can create those things. This is also supports JSON and YAML. So CloudFormation, I'll tell you how it works. You have to create a stack. Stack means a database should be there. One machine should have application, the other machine should have web. There should be a couple of other components like load balancer, auto scaling group, and VPC. So together you need to create 20 times or 20 times. So it becomes very tedious and it is not going to be consistent. Morning you may create with very good energy, and by the time evening you may lose that energy and you may do some inconsistent things. So, but once you create the script, it is going to give you the same result any day, anytime, and consistently it is going to be all the 20 setups, stacks is going to be the same thing, dot. And you can also easily reshare these stacks. You can also easily reshare these stacks with others. So CloudFormation is something where you can easily codify your infrastructure and you can create it. So this is now up and running. FAF4. So if I go back to the CloudFormation, I got shocked. I was thinking whether it is asking me to leave the meeting. Okay, this is sample. Resources FAF4. This is the resource which got created. And the template what we used is this. You can easily pick up this and you can share with others. You can weave it in the infrastructure composer to modify if you have to modify anything. So when I select this into the details, I can see this is the security group it is using, this is the key name, all those parameters. Okay, that is one thing about CloudFormation. So CloudFormation falls into the category of IAC, Infrastructure as a Code tool. It uses YAML and JSON templates. You can write whatever you need. So it automatically provisions those resources like EC2, S3, RDS, all those things. It helps you meet the consistency, repeatability, and also version control. So it supports nested stacks. What is nested stack? One stack will create database. The output of database will be sent to another stack. Using the database, application server gets started, and application server details are sent to one more stack, and that stack starts the web server. So this all three are different CloudFormation stacks. So one by one, it passes the information to others, making sure the nested loops or nested templates or stacks are supported. So let's assume you are a fintech company and you are giving one service to different clients. So you don't have to every time set up something, and client don't have to come back and complain. You are giving something different to them and you are giving something different to me. You can create one CloudFormation template. Anybody who subscribes to your service, you are just putting their details and you are starting up the environment for them. And you can create identical environment for test, development, and other things. So students can create these templates to create basic three-tier architecture, and they can use pre-written CloudFormation template to start the resources. CLI. So let's see one thing. Whatever I'm using here, this is called console, web console. So let me also help you see. We can delete it. You may have created 200 resources with one stack, but while deleting, if you delete all those resources, whatever you created will be deleted with one action. Okay. Deletion in progress. Let me see. There is some error. Events. Timeline. Deletion in progress. The machine should be shutting down now. So this is terminated now. Let me go back to CloudFormation and see deletion is successful. This is deleted. There are so many things like this. I'll show you one of the example. Kubernetes cluster. If you see this entire stack has huge resources. So this is how the stack looks like. And this is going to create Kubernetes cluster. Okay, that is infrastructure as a code. AWS CLI, command line interface. So whatever we see now here, this is a console. And when I created a user, I can allow him to either use the console or I can allow him to use the credential, command line. So I think I've shown you the command line interface. Now I have an EC2, which is shut down now. Let me start it again by connecting. Using this system, I can create or delete the bucket, which we did it on the other day. AWS S3 LS. It is not having the permission. Either I can configure the permission or I can give the role to the system. Under security, I will give the role to the system. And now my system is capable of listing the buckets. Using CLI, you can do everything, whatever we are doing in the console. So we were checking that Amazon Q, right? Where did that go? The same thing I can use in the command line. You see, AWS CloudFormation create stack. First of all, I need to save this into a file. So let me take this to a file. My file .txt vi AWS CloudFormation. Yes. Okay, maybe I have to save it in the YAML file. See, YMV, my file too. So it is triggered. As soon as I executed this, you can come back and under the stacks, you can see active. You can see this is creation in progress. Creation complete. So come back to this. This machine is running now. It is initializing. This is the same script. So anything you do in the web console, you can do everything in command line also. It doesn't have to be again EC2 only. You can do it from your local laptop also. I have my own local laptop terminal. And with the help of this terminal, I can perform the same thing. S3, AWS, EC2, IAM, everything you can do. We did this. We copied the PDF from local system to. Okay. The only thing is you need to make sure you are using this S3:/ and the bucket name to copy. And make sure you have this / so that it can be copied properly. This is the terminal which I have. In my terminal also, it is going to be the same thing. Yeah, this is my local laptop, guys, and I'm able to list the bucket, and I can even run the same command. VI. It might throw an error because the name of the stack should be a little different. So let me capture the command from my local laptop. I will be running this command. Error occurs because this stack is already available. I will change the stack name to instead of my EC2 instance, I will put my EC2 instance 1. It should run now. Okay, coming back to my CloudFormation stack, I should be able to see my instance 1 is getting created. So command line is very useful. In fact, if you ask me, I like command line a lot and have so many such commands which I use it to create huge clusters and all. I've shown you, right? One of the Kubernetes clusters, and these are all my previous commands which I have used. You see all these Kubernetes clusters and EKS cluster, Excel, ECS, all those things. That's about command line interface. That's our CloudFormation and CLI. I'm open to any questions if we have. Let me see the messages in the chat. Okay. So yeah, feedback form. Okay. Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask. And I'll be happy to help you understand over the topic. We have 10 minutes for question and answer. In the meanwhile, I will watch the chart window. In the meanwhile, I will show you the last one useful option. There is something called as Elastic Beanstalk. Say, for example, you don't know how to start the machine, but you are very much good in development. You want a machine to do the development. There is something called as Elastic Beanstalk. AWS takes care of underlying scalability, performance, monitoring, patching, everything. Just say create application. My app. What machine you need? .NET, Docker, Golang, Java, Node.js, PHP, Python, Ruby, Tomcat. So you can choose the platform, whatever you need, and you can choose the available platform version. And either if you have code, you upload the code, or if you want to sample application, you can get the sample application. Do you want single instance, highly available, primary and standby, and high availability, all these things. Just say next. And in the next screen, you select the associated role. Okay. And skip to review and then create. So it will give you the machine with Node.js installed. The URL will pop up here, which will help you see the application. What happens? This Beanstalk is ultimately using the CloudFormation to create the system. I'll show you. If you go to CloudFormation, you can see Beanstalk is creating the system. These are all the resources which is getting created. I'll delete my other two stacks by the time Beanstalk is created. New machine is getting created. My app environment, you see. Once I come back to Beanstalk, I should be able to see the domain. The moment you click, you will be taken to the sample application. It is still getting created. That is the reason it is not available. That's all I have for today, but just wait for last moment to see the sample application in Beanstalk. It should not take more than 1 minute from now. Create environment is starting. Environment has transitioned to pending. Initialization only for 45 seconds. The benefit is once you create the application, you can create the environments, production, development, disaster recovery, all those things. Action, create environment. You can create multiple identical replicas. Okay. You see, the application is ready. This is Beanstalk application, and it is currently coming out of this sample application. It is. Thank you, Harish. That's all I have for today. Malinath, thank you very much. Tomorrow we have some AI services to check on, and we will explore what are those AI services, cognitive services, all those things. Okay. Nivedita, over to you. Sorry, Sushmita.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you so much. We'll meet again by tomorrow. So as to tomorrow is the last day for the faculty development program. So we will meet again by tomorrow at 3 p.m. So thank you so much. So yeah, dear faculty members, as today is the fourth day. Today is the fourth day. So tomorrow will be a fifth day. Tomorrow will be the last day for this particular program. Okay. So related to certificate and all, I will let you know by tomorrow in the last 10 minutes. Okay. And thank you all. Thank you for joining. We'll meet again by tomorrow at 3 p.m. So it's just a reminder. Please mark your attendance, which I have already shared it on a chat. Please mark your attendance. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great day.